everyone, and welcome to the big show. I'm your host, Jerk, and we've got a program planned for you today. We're continuing our countdown to 200 Krakens with some of my favorite Kraken printers in the game. And today's guest is maybe our most frequent guest, having been on 6 times already. Their first appearance was Kraken 56 all the way back May 6th, 2020. Back then, we were broadcasting our games over a pirate radio station in Arizona, going by Hard Harry, and just raging against society. Nothing compared to the elaborate production we get now that we're on KRKN Los Angeles. A lot has changed since then, so let's welcome them out with a big round of applause. Give it up for the Tier 7 premium German battleship, the lonely Queen of the North, and the ship responsible for getting me back into this game after I left. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tirpitz. I'll skip the details on this frequent guest, as all the info you could want I'll link to at the end of the show, and I might also suggest watching the recent Jean Bart and Bismarck matches on this map for full context on some things I'll be discussing. First, let's get the commander and modules up on the big screen so you can see I am sticking with my secondary meme build, and I've tried this ship with Henry Hyde, and I'm close to switching, but I need him Legendary 3, and I was feeling nostalgic, so Celiax it is. If you will turn your attention to the minimap, I'm going to highlight my usual routes I take on this map when I get B-spawn. I've discussed how I like to come in from the side of A, as there is always a battleship to the north I can use to create a crossfire. Similarly, the same can be done at C, but I don't have a video of that yet to reference. This game is a lot like chess, only you don't have direct control over your own game pieces, and so whilst you react to the movements of the red team, you must also react to the movements of the blue team, timing your push to theirs, as they're rarely going to time theirs to yours. I waited here and I allowed my teammates to get into place, and the red Bismarck must be going for secondary hits, and pushing in is one way to get those, but staying alive is another way as well. And just like we saw in the Jean Bart video, my position here is going to cause many problems for this Bismarck, and there is no direction they can turn to not give a broadside, and as such, they will have their piece removed from the chessboard with much haste, and it will also be the signal for me to push into a more aggressive position onto A to set up another crossfire for anyone who dares to enter the Thunderdome, as well as to start capping. There are no destroyers in this match, so there is no reason to play passively. The only question is, will I sink this ship? Spoiler alert, I won't. So, on to our next position. If you recall the path from earlier, then you'll know I'll be pulling up alongside the island, separating their team from A, with my nose pointing west. Sometimes it could be considered viable to try and flank behind this group, but I'd be exposing myself to the red team closer to D, so I'm going to stick with the plan and protect myself from being flanked with my torpedoes and by keeping an eye on the minimap. My division mate has been scorched badly under constant HE spam, but that's what happens if you just sit out in the open. A more aggressive push to the little island directly in front of me would have limited the angles where he was being fired upon, and would have pushed the red team back or into disarray. But as it were, they're timing their move a little too late, and he's going to go down. Now, this is one thing. I have recently switched over to the propulsion mod on the Tirpitz instead of the damage control module, and it does take quite a bit of time to stop this ship from moving, and that's going to push me out just a little too far, And I'm going to take a pretty decent hit from the Massachusetts, who is capable of lobbing their shots over that terrain. Right there. Ouch. But Tirpitz does have a very good heal. So I'll just get back to the position where I really want to be and hold it down right here. I'm keeping my head on a swivel and making sure the Gneisenau is not trying to pull something sneaky. I get a solid hit on the New Orleans, but now you can see how my teammates pushing forward is forcing the red team to react. And that red Miyoko is going to back right into my crossfire, and they're gone. Alright, so my division mate has gone down, and this Tirpitz is continuing to push. And this is a situation where now I have to react to what they're doing. This is probably a bit ambitious on their part. I mean, I don't know this player, but a 3-on-1, well, okay, technically we have a goddamn Wichita up in the corner of the map, but are they really doing anything? Anyway, this Tirpitz is going to go down relatively quickly. They're taking a very ambitious move by trying to do a 1v3. I'm going to follow in behind, and you are going to see me, yes, even me, make a big mistake here. I'm going to get my torps down for this Massachusetts, and I'm going to start turning, but I'm going to run into the hull of this Tirpitz and get myself into quite the pickle. And you better believe me that if I was in maybe any other ship, this would be the death of me. But as it were, with this wonderful turtleback and the often forgotten Tirpitz heal, I'm going to pull this off just with a few thousand health. This is probably, in all of its ugly glory, the Taco Bell play of the game. So let's see it in replay. Now, had I not gotten that off, these three ships would live, the Massachusetts would get their heal off entirely, maybe the Gneisenau too, they'd flip this cap, our goddamn Wichita would go park themselves even further away, but we got it. And more importantly, I got another of my own heals off. And also, just as equally important, this Gneisenau, for whatever reason, is shooting HE. If they were shooting AP into my superstructure, I would most certainly be dead. But they're not. And so, they are going to be dead. And that New Orleans is going to sail off into the sunset, flinging its last few rounds of hope at me. Desperately trying to get a fire, I'm sure. And they do get one, but I'm going to put that out and sink this Gneisenau now. Gneisenau. Never thought of that before. And I'll be leaving the range of the New Orleans rounds. So they hit me on the front there. They're going to get one more shot off before they disappear. And I will survive with 5,800 health. But more importantly, I will get yet another heal off. And this is the often overlooked heal of the Tirpitz. It is better than a usual heal. It can heal more Citadel damage. And as such, by the time I get these two heals off, I'm going to be back to, what, about 28% of my health. Now, as we do the usual traverse to action that occurs on this map, please enjoy the atmospheric stylings our graphics and audio team have put together for your Tears of the Desert enjoyment. The sea is a desert of waves, a wilderness of water. Stuck on the sea for days chasing a hidden enemy, these words caused goosebumps to run across the skin of Tirpitz. How long had they been at sea? 10 seconds? 20? And how long would the enemy remain hidden before they accepted their own cruel fate? That team, they are so dramatic. Alright, so our shots are out, and this is going to be number 4. So it will be no surprise who the last ship is going to be. Let's set a course for adventure and our minds on a new romance. I've got another heal off now, but we're not going to really need it, as this last Massachusetts seems to only be engaged with our Richelieu, and I'm kind of annoyed that I never used my enhanced secondaries in this round. What I need, though, is an enhanced primaries, because for maximum lulls, you're going to see the Tirpitz doing its thing where it shoots the shells out of a fork that was stuck in the garbage disposal. We haven't even barely used our torps yet, so let's see if they're in reverse. Nope. And we're still turning all of our guns to port. Comically bad dispersion right now. I mentioned, I think in the last Tirpitz video, that it is similar to a relationship where your significant other asks you, where do you want to eat? And you say Chili's, and then they reply, well, I don't want that. Only in this case, it's, where do you want your shells to go? And I say, into the superstructure, please. And they say, well, I don't want to go there. But eventually, after enough pleading, they will, in the end, allow you a trip to Sizzler and a shell to hit the conning tower. And that is Kraken 195 in the Tirpitz. So let's see the scoreboard. 2,915 XP. An A+ on the good game range, and just outside of the very good game range. So that's going to wrap it up for this one. Questions, comments, relationship advice, put it below. If you like to keep things spontaneous, never knowing where things will go, hit like. If you'd rather a life with no surprises and only oatmeal, hit dislike. And subscribe to not miss another art school dropout gameplay installation. I'll get back out there for another, and we can talk soon.